everybody, how you doing? It is December the 29th, 2022. You are probably wondering, why are we getting another bonus episode, Sports Frenzy 2.0? You guys just put out a brand new episode, the Maestro and the Conquistador together, Kev Dave ranting about football and baseball and all sports, far and wide. Well, those of you who've already listened to last night's episode know that as Dave and I were going off on all these football games, got the bowl games, the NFL slate, a pressure cooker with all the playoff spots on the line, Dave and I both completely missed the fact that we skipped our NFL Week 17 picks altogether. We jumped right from our Week 16 recap into college football. So, I'm going solo here. Real quick bonus episode. Going to break down the games that we picked. Our panel, all 8 of our picks are now in, of course. So I will tell you here over the next few minutes who we all picked for NFL Week 17. Trying to get this in and posted, of course, before tonight's game, Thursday, December the 29th. The Dallas Cowboys go into Tennessee to play the depleted Tennessee Titans. And I'm telling you, this could be ugly. Now, on paper, a couple months ago, even a month and a half ago, this looked a lot better. But the Titans are in free fall. No Ryan Tannehill. Pretty much done for the year with his ankle injury. Now word comes down yesterday. Derrick Henry will most likely not play tonight. And that means the Titans team you're going to be watching on Amazon tonight are an absolute shell of what they should be. Malik Willis will be your quarterback. From what we've seen of him so far, he's not ready yet. He's a rookie. He's been forced into action because of Tannehill getting dinged up this year. He can't really throw the ball accurately or well yet. They had some success, though, because he could hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. Well, now without Derrick Henry, this is going to be a train wreck of a game, in my opinion. The spread is double digits and rising in favor of the Cowboys. Cowboys, of course, still need to win this game if they want to hold on to the hopes of catching Philadelphia and possibly taking a higher seed into the playoffs. They'll probably play all their starters. They get this mini bye, as they like to call it, when you play a Thursday night game. Then you don't have to play again until the following Sunday. So I could see the Cowboys going full out here, or at least going with the starters until they've got a 30 or 40-point lead, because it's going to be ugly. Out of our 8 panelists, only Jen, Mrs. C, going with Tennessee. The other 7 panelists on Sports Frenzy are taking the Dallas Cowboys. Now we move on to Sunday, New Year's Day, January the 1st, where the games are a little bit more intriguing. Now, this one's 2 bad teams, but it's an intriguing matchup between those 2 bad teams. The Arizona Cardinals going into Atlanta to play the Falcons. Now, for me personally, as I looked at the game, even with Colt McCoy, now, when they played the Buccaneers, they had McSorley in as quarterback. They were on their 3rd-string quarterback. And, of course, he struggled. They still almost beat the woeful Buccaneers. They had to go to overtime, where the Bucs did end up winning 19-16. So now the news comes down. Colt McCoy is out of the concussion protocol. I think that's going to make a huge difference for the Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury is coaching for his career, his job. DeAndre Hopkins had to be furious last week, only catching one pass from McSorley. Colt McCoy will get him more involved. And I don't trust Desmond Ridder yet. I'm sorry. Arthur Smith has done a fine job trying to keep this team afloat. They've got the same type of problems in many ways that the Bears do. They just don't have a good roster right now. Now, of course, the Bears at least look like they have their franchise quarterback of the future. The Falcons still searching for that. And of course, they do want to see, is there any potential with Desmond Ridder? I'm in the minority here. I'm taking the Cardinals. Nick is as well, and so is Doug. But the other 5 panelists out of our 8 are going with the home team, the Atlanta Falcons. I just can't trust Desmond Ridder yet. Speaking of trusting a team, Chicago Bears go into Detroit to play the Lions, who are clinging to playoff hopes, but they are going to have to win out. Most likely get some help somewhere after losing badly last week to Carolina. Now, Dave and I have ranted about the Bears and the tissue paper defense they've got now that they got rid of Roquan Smith. They've got injuries. There's only so much Justin Fields can do. Now, the one positive for the Bears is that the Lions, as we saw last week, are awful, god-awful against the run. So, David Montgomery probably in line to have a big day. Justin Fields, of course, the most prolific running quarterback out there right now, in my humble opinion. Will that be enough? Because the Lions' offense also runs the ball very well, but you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff having a nice comeback year. I'm going to go with the team that actually is playing for something. There's got to be something in the back of the mind of the Bears front office and the coaching staff where they potentially have a shot at the number 1 draft pick. Now, they will hopefully parlay that into multiple draft picks for once instead of being on the other end of it. They'll back out, get a lot of draft picks for the future, let somebody else pick their quarterback of the future. So, unfortunately, I see the Bears losing again. The only 2 panelists taking Chicago are the Big Blue W, Bill, and Doug. The other 6 of us, even though it burned us last week, we're going with the Detroit Lions. Of course, Dave and I talked about on our regular podcast episode earlier today the Tua Tagovailoa situation with the concussions. Now, he will not be playing for the Dolphins. It will fall on Teddy Bridgewater to stop the hemorrhaging for Miami. Problem is they are going up into New England to play the Patriots. Bill Belichick has got to be furious with that team, how they have choked away 2 potential big wins in the last 2 weeks due to last-minute failures, discipline issues in terms of mental breakdowns, fumbles. I've got to believe that the Patriots somehow will turn this thing around against, again, a lesser Miami team that is just on the skids right now. And I don't know if their head coach is the type of guy who can stop it in his first year. Now, the Patriots, Mac Jones, still a question mark at quarterback, but that defense is solid, and I think they will make Teddy Bridgewater's life miserable. Matthew Judon, of course, one of the best pass rushers in the game today. Got Dolphins picks for Sam and for Jen. The other 6 panelists are with me. We are going with the New England Patriots to keep their slim playoff hopes alive and damage severely the hopes of the Miami Dolphins. The aforementioned Carolina Panthers coming off their big win against the Detroit Lions. going to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. This is a death match for the NFC South division title. Buccaneers win this game, they clinch it, they're in, and they get to take it easy that last week, week 18. Panthers win, then that's going to force both teams to play and play hard in week 18. The Bucs, I believe, will need help at that point. If they lose to the Panthers in this game, Panthers, I believe, hold the tiebreaker. So it's basically going to turn into a win and you're in for Carolina in week 18, where the Bucs will need the Panthers to lose and then they'll have to win. But Tampa Bay can take care of all of this by beating the Panthers at home this coming Sunday. Couple Panthers picks. Again, Sam and Jen being the contrarians. They are going with the Panthers. Everybody else, all 6 of the other panelists, going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cleveland Browns going in to play the Washington Commanders. Again, kind of like that Cardinals-Falcons game. 2 mediocre teams going at it. Commanders, of course, still have playoff aspirations. The Browns are pretty much done now. This is more about getting Deshaun Watson into game shape going into 2023. Whereas the Commanders, as Dave and I mentioned earlier today, Carson Wentz is now taking over again as the quarterback for Washington. So yes, you have that unbelievably epic Titanic battle between Deshaun Watson and Carson Wentz. Sounded a lot better probably 3 years ago than it does now. That being said, 2 good defenses, a little bit more in terms of skill players. Give the edge to the Commanders. Now, Jen and Nick are both going with Cleveland on the road. The other 6 of us, including me, take Washington, despite the fact that Carson Wentz makes me nervous. This one kind of surprised me. This is going to be your Sunday night game. They flexed it from the afternoon to the night. This is for the Ravens at home against the Steelers. They still have a shot, depending on how the Monday night game turns out. We'll get to that in a second. The Ravens still have a shot at winning the AFC North. Steelers trying to slip in as a wild card. I didn't get a lot of faith. I didn't get a lot to grasp to cling to in terms of the Steelers watching that ugly game on Christmas Eve against the Raiders. Now they're going up against a resurgent Ravens defense with Roquan Smith. I just don't know if the Steelers have the offense to put up a ton of points against that Ravens defense. Now you can say the same thing on the flip side, because it looks like Huntley's going to be quarterback again. Looks like Lamar Jackson is probably going to miss another week at least. I just have faith in that Ravens defense against Kenny Pickett. Jen and Aaron are taking the Steelers. The other 6 panelists, including myself, are going with the home team, going with that Ravens defense in Baltimore. Another game with playoff implications. The New York Jets go up to the Pacific Northwest to play the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are another team sliding, hemorrhaging, can't stop the bleeding, can't stop losing. The Jets aren't much better, but now the Jets at least have an excuse of sorts as they try to find their identity at quarterback. We all know about Zach Wilson and what he's gone through and just has looked awful and terrible and ill-prepared. So a lot of the games the Jets have lost recently have been because of Zach Wilson, while his backup, who's looked much better, Mike White, has been nursing ribs from playing the Buffalo Bills as they took a couple legitimate, not cheap shots to his rib cage. Last week we heard broken ribs. We'll see how that affects him as he has now been cleared. Mike White will start at quarterback for the Jets. And this Jets team takes on a whole new demeanor. They love Mike White. They play hard for him. I know it's pathetic, it's sad, but they do. They play harder for him. They don't seem to care about Zach Wilson when he's the quarterback. So Sam and Bill and I are going with the New York Jets. The other 5 panelists are taking the Seattle Seahawks at home. I think the Cinderella story for Geno Smith against a very good secondary for the Jets. Sauce Gardner, of course, probably going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He will most likely, I would imagine, I don't know what kind of coaching scheme on defense Rob Saleh is going to go with, but you would imagine Sauce would be up against DK Metcalf. You take him away with no Tyler Lockett, that limits Geno Smith's options severely. So if they can stop Kenneth Walker from running all over the place, it makes it a lot easier for the Jets offense against a very, very suspect Seattle defense. The Vikings and the Packers in Green Bay at Lambeau Field. Everything's falling Aaron Rodgers' way. Must be his quote-unquote clean living. As a Bears fan, of course, this makes me completely bitter beyond belief. But everything's been falling the Green Bay Packers' way the last couple of weeks. The teams they needed to lose have lost. So the Packers are back in the playoff hunt in the NFC. Now the Vikings are still playing for positioning as they already locked in the division title. The Packers would have to make it as a wild card, of course. Outdoors, pressure cooker type situation. I think the Packers, again, will get everything to go their way. As good as Justin Jefferson is, as talented as the Vikings offense is, we all know it's been a little bit of smoke and mirrors in that they have been winning close game after close game after close game. And yes, you can say that shows that they've got heart and resiliency, but a cynic like me says, well, that shows that they're due for a loss. And the losses they've got on their record this year have been awful. They have been beat down. Remember that Cowboys game? I have a bad feeling this could be one of those games. Vikings for Doug, for Jen, for Sam. The other 5 of us are taking the Green Bay Packers. And then finally, the epic Titanic battle on Monday night, January the 2nd. It's this week's game of the year. This is a big one, though. This is a big, big showdown. This could impact seeding at the top of the playoffs for the AFC. The Buffalo Bills, currently the number 1 seed for the AFC playoffs. Of course, the number 1 seed in both the AFC and the NFC under the new format that was just put in here recently, last year. Number 1 seed, only team, 1 on each side, who gets a bye week. Right now, that is the Buffalo Bills in the AFC. But the Kansas City Chiefs are lurking, as are the Cincinnati Bengals, who happen to be hosting the Buffalo Bills Monday night. This will be a great, great game. Bengals are on a roll, looking very, very good. Joe Burrow has got himself in the MVP discussion, along with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes of the aforementioned Chiefs. I just like the way the Bengals are playing right now. They seem to be able to win against the best teams under pressure. That's why Joe Burrow is Joe Cool. I sometimes wonder about the talent level of the Bills. I know they've got a great defense, and that's where they've got the edge over the Bengals, although the Bengals defense has been playing much better over the last few months. But outside of Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, McKenzie, do they really scare you? Dawson Knox is a decent tight end. Devin Singletary in the backfield, okay. Then I look at the Cincinnati Bengals. I've got Joe Mixon, Samaj Pirine. I have got Jamar Chase. I have got Tyler Boyd. I've got T. Higgins. Now, those guys have been banged up at various times during the year. We'll see if all three of those receivers play. I think Chase is definitely good to go. I just like that skill, that talent level on the offensive side for the Bengals a little bit more than I do the Bills. And again, it's at home for Cincinnati. Again, this should be, as the Big Blue W would say, a slobber knocker. Bengals for me, for Sam, and for Aaron. The other five panelists go with the Buffalo Bills. So there you go, kids. I apologize profusely. I don't know how both of us, Dave and I, both missed the fact as we were taping last night for this morning's episode that we did not pass along our analysis and our picks for Week 17. So, yes, you've got to listen to a little bit more on top of the full episode that we posted earlier today, but you can also just check out the graphic, the chart of our picks later on today on our Facebook page. Weekend edition will hit Saturday morning, where we review Top Gun Maverick, among other things in the entertainment world. Thanks again. Apologies again for having to throw an extra bonus episode at you just to wrap up everything and post-Christmas put a bow on it, as you say during the holidays. I'm the maestro, Kevin Crane. Thanks again for hanging with me for just a little bit longer. We will talk to you this weekend, and then, of course, for sports next Thursday morning.